Hello, and welcome to my channel. Thank you for joining me on today's video. And today we are looking through my old fan art. This is a small series I want to start going back through old fan art I've done and developing it, see where I've improved in the past few years and where I can improve further. This video I want to focus more on the fan art I've done for the Percy Jackson, Heroes of Olympus, Sings of Apollo, so on, so forth, Rick Riordan books. Yeah, I have done a lot of fan art for these, so I've only picked out 9 fan arts to go through in this video and talk to you about and where I can see where I need to improve. Okay, so the first fan art I want to talk about is this one. This is the classic scene from the first book of Heroes of Olympus, introducing um Jason, Piper, and Leo. This is one of my favorite books from the entire series. Um, I'm someone who was a fan of the Percy Jackson series. No, yeah, the Percy Jackson series before the Disney series came out, and I was an ultimate hater on the movies because I am one of those annoying people who like it accurate to the books. However, I do very much like the series, even though it's got inaccuracies. It's compared to the book. I'm going to nerd out, so I'm going to shut up. But yeah, I love both of these characters. Piper is one of my favourite characters. She is in my top 3, and most of the drawings I'm doing today are of Piper. I love this scene. It's one of the scenes that stuck in my head. I believe I've redrew this one about 2-3 times. I did try and find the other ones to put in the video as well, but I could not find them because I've had 2 phones since. No, I've had another phone since then, and 2 of drawing tablets and a laptop, and now I'm on a PC. So I don't have access to them, unfortunately, but I would have liked to put them in here. Yeah. So with this drawing, a lot of the issue was like how much was going on, I believe was my issue with it. But I was able to simple it down and it looks more natural, I think. And I wasn't good at the time of doing side profiles of people. I'm still not the best at it, however, it's more um I know how to work around it now instead of having to work with it. I can't do a 360 of like spawn turning, but side profiles I use when necessary, and half the time I will just I've got a head shape and I'll reuse that, but I didn't want to do it with this one. I wanted to do it from scratch, and I think I did an okay job. Something that I always forget about Jason is his SPQR tattoo, and it took me more time to draw the lines and tattoo than it did with some other stuff because I was looking at a reference picture of him from the official art and I was just there with my face on the screen going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I kept continuously counting them because I could not count for anything. Yeah, I think I've improved with this one. I did like go and try and do my usual highlighting where it's just purple, but then I I branched out. I used linear burn, and I think that looks better. And then the hair highlights also looks good, and I think I did a good job. Yeah, there's one down. Staying on the Piper train, we are doing this one. This is another one I've redrew multiple times, and I'll put both on the screen for you. And yeah, I don't know why, but this was like one of my first drawings. Like when I was like, oh yeah, I really like Piper. Piper's a goat. And in all of them, in the other 2 pages, I drew her with a very obvious Hello Kitty top on. But for this one, I made it a little less obvious, giving her a pink cardigan and a bow. I love how from one scene where it's barely significant, where Piper's wearing a Hello Kitty top, everyone's like, yeah, she's a Hello Kitty fan. But I also like the idea that she just found it in a charity shop and was like, fuck it, that would do. I'm off to save the world. I also just like the bit when people draw Piper in a way. It's like there's an artist who like made me kind of like develop my love for Piper, where it's like she draws Piper in a pretty but ugly way, if that makes sense. So, with her like a crooked nose, and I don't know. I just really like Piper, and I just like any art to do with it. But I like it more so when people like draw the pretty character in the pretty but not in the stereotypical perfect nose, perfect this, perfect that way. a big way I think I've improved from the original drawing is however I was drawing the nose. I remember at the time I loved this one artist, and they drew all the noses like that, but they did it in a different way at the same time, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do that, but in my interpretation, I shouldn't have. It was shit. But I like how I've done it now, where it's more of a silhouette of the nose shape than the actual nose shape, because I do have same face syndrome. But it matches how I draw. I think I'm very cartoonish with how I draw, so I think it evens out compared to the very blocky nose I've used. And again, I think there was just too much going on in my first drawing for it to make sense. So numbing it down to something similar, I believe, has helped bring more attention to her as a whole. Keeping on with Piper, even though I drew Piper and Jason together, this time we're doing her with a lesbian flag. I love how, like, even before the Sun and the Star book came out, a lot of people were already collectively saying Piper's a lesbian. I remember when I first started seeing that pop up, it was like quite new to the fandom. The books were, and the fan art obviously, and people were like, Piper's not a lesbian. She's literally dating Jason. And it's like, Jason's dead. He died. What do you mean? He did. I always forget Jason's dead. Is he dead though? Yeah, he is, isn't he? I keep forgetting that. It's been so long since I've read the books. I need to reread them. I don't know where they are though. And I don't like audiobooks because the voices are very freaky to me, that I can hear your voice but I can't see who's talking. I can't do phone calls for the same reason. I'm very much off track, but I like this one because, again, I've just calmed down on the details and brought down. Her hair's messy, but not messy as in, mate, what the fuck is that on her head? That looks like a fucking dead animal. But it's, professionally messy. Like, she's worked hard. She doesn't need to straighten her hair messy. And yeah. Also, I would like to point out, if you see feet in any of these pictures, they're gonna look like that. They're gonna look stupid. They're gonna look clotted, because I have no clue how to draw them. Don't know how to draw hands either, but I kind of just make the mittens and that works. But fucking feet, shoes, mate, get me off. I fucking don't know. Last Piper drawing en route. This one has Annabeth in. I remember drawing this because I had a massive phase where it's not that I shipped them together, but I had this massive headcanon where everyone thought they were lesbians for each other, but they're not. And it was like, you walk in and you think, oh shit, did I just interrupt some lesbian activity? Fucking yeah. But I love their relationship. They're like my girl bosses, and I will always stand up for them. I was also in the fandom, obviously, when Leah Jefferson, I think that's her name, from the top of my head, the girl who played Annabeth in the Percy Jackson series, got casted, and I loved how emotional people got about the skin tone changing over a fictional character. That was pure entertainment for me. I was kicking and giggling my feet. Yeah. But yeah, I like this one. Honestly, I like the first one still a lot, but this one just feels more natural with how I've actually placed them. And again, the shading is so much better now. And yeah, the carton's the only issue, because I've put a massive carton that just wouldn't bounce on anyone's head. I don't think. I don't know. Finally, we're moving on to a different character. We are doing Drew Tanaka. I don't see a lot of fan art for her, but when I do, I get so happy. She was a hyperfixation of mine for 2 weeks straight. I was drawing her loads. I started planning out a comic for her. I didn't do the comics, I couldn't be asked. But I love her so much. I don't see anyone hate her, but in fan fictions, people write her as if she's a serial killer. No, she's just fucking Regina George. What are you on about? And yeah, I personally love her so so much. And I love her. I wish she had more like words, more like screen time, but book version, because she has a diva. And yeah, I don't really have much to say. Clearly, there's improvement, and I do try and think about this a lot now when drawing books, of that coffin thing where if they can fit in a coffin, then it's not good. And I just like, hands out, hands out, hands out. Yeah, I love her, and I gave her a leopard print in the background thing because she's got a leopard print bag. What can I say? I'm 100% on that. That is a known fact. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I like her a lot. Before we get on to the next drawing, congratulations, you've made it halfway through the video. If you've made it this far, please consider maybe leaving a subscribe, or a like. That'd be very much appreciated. Keeping on with Drew Tanaka, I've also got Will Solace in this one. Oh yeah, he's another one of my favourite characters. And not because he's gay. A lot of people, I remember there was this thing going on in the fandom at some point. It's like, people only like Will because he dates Nico. It's like, nah, take him out of the relationship. He's a snazzy bitch, selfless, Rapunzel at that. I love him. I just like, yeah. You can see how much I care by how little words I say. That's kind of my rule. Anyway, I remember when I was drawing the first sketch, I was like, people think they're being judged. People are being watched by them. And, like, they both look miserable, and, like, people are scared, like, they feel judged shit and stuff. When really you've got Drew going, in her head going, what the hell is that girl wearing? She should not be wearing those shorts with this stupid orange top. And Will's just going, that kid's gonna die if he doesn't have a band-aid slapped on that right now. He's gonna get syphilis. And I just like love how they're just best friends. Leave me alone. I don't know what else to say. They're just best friends, and they judge people for all the right reasons, but it just doesn't come out that way sometimes. And yeah, need I say more? I don't have much to say, but I did a lot better with this drawing. Background is completely different because I cannot draw backgrounds for the life of me, and I wasn't even going to try because a lot of it took me out of it. Words, am I right? It took a lot of me to do the bench, which frankly doesn't properly look like a bench, but we thrive, that's fine. But I've obviously feel like I've improved a lot with anatomy wise, because beforehand Will was like 2/3 legs, 1/3 torso, and it just didn't look right, and he wasn't sitting naturally as one would. And with the hands again, I've just given up. I admit I'll never be able to draw them, so mittens it is, and I believe that works. And again, don't look at the feet. I know what they look like, and I know they look like bricks or something. They just don't look right. And that is something I'm not going to improve on, because I admit I can't do that. That is my style, that is my branding. Brick feet. Moving on to another character this time, we're moving on to Hazel. I can't lie, I don't have an opinion on Hazel at all. Like, generally, her and Frank, I get why they're in, but they don't do anything. They don't do much, well, is better said. Personality wise, I think they're just boring and basic. I can see why people like them, but I also see why a lot of people just forget about them. And honestly, when I realised that there's like not a lot of people who see Hazel outside of Nico, the same with Will, it upset me. Like, I got upset for the fact that no one really gives much of a shit about a fictional character. So I drew her twice. One time with Nico, but we'll get to that drawing in a minute. And yeah, I felt bad for a fictional character because no one liked her. What can I say? Does she have an interesting story? yeah, she has an interesting story, but not for the situation they're in. They could have used someone completely different. I get she's important because of Nico and finding Nico in a jar and whatnot, but you could have used anyone else. I feel like, I don't know, she and Frank had so much potential, and I feel like because they weren't in the right setting for their potential to be used, it was just a letdown. Because frankly, all she does is find things. And there is a lot of other gods that you could have used who may have been more interesting for that. And honestly, I forget about Frank. I'll be sitting there going, oh, I love this character in Olympus. I love this one. I love this one. I love this one. Oh, I think I'm missing someone. Who's that? I don't fucking know. I don't think I've improved with this drawing at all. I think this, frankly, I've went down a peg with this. But that's just because I don't care. I don't have an opinion on the character to feel they need to try, and yeah, she's there, nothing interesting. So yeah, Hazel and Nico. Again, I've stated my opinions on Hazel, but Nico, Nico, I love him. I do. When they added Nico's voice into the first season of the Percy Jackson series in the casino, where you can actually hear him go, Bianca, Bianca, stop. I didn't hear it until someone else pointed it out, but whenever you watched it and heard it, I was like, your sister's gonna die soon. Also, I hate, what's her name, Bianca. I hate his sister so much. I could go through a rabbit hole. She fills me with rage. I've never drew her because she just pisses me off. You are leaving your brother in an environment he's not secure in because you want to go off and do something. I get it. I'm an older sister. You have that you want to look after your sibling. You also want to be yourself. Be yourself a bit later on. Make sure he is comfortable first. But no. What does he do? He tries to fucking kill everyone because she dies. Selfish, I think. I don't like her. She's one of the few characters I just don't like her. But Nico, I love him. And the Sun in the Star book was released on my birthday, just so everyone knows. My birthday is the 2nd of May, so make sure to be here to wish me a happy birthday when that comes out. When it's my birthday. I love Nico. And I also one thing I do like is that they're not from this timeline. I like it when not everything just falls into place perfectly. It kind of builds to it, and I just like it when a character has a bit more trauma. What can I say? I like when there's pre-built trauma for a character and you're not sitting there watching the character go through all the trauma. I like it when they're traumatized and then they heal a bit and then there's a dip and then you see through that trauma, because then I believe you're having more of an interaction with that character. And I think that's why I like Nico so much, because he had every right to basically like start hanging by a rope through this entire thing, and if memory serves, he doesn't. He just wants to kill everyone else instead, and I think that's iconic. I love him. He's also like so cool for like carrying like 100-meter statue across the entire world. That's like, you know, yeah. So he's also in like my top 5 favorite characters. Yeah, I think this picture here shows how much I have improved with drawing, because it's more detailed. I think, well, not a lot more detailed, but the shading makes sense, and the highlights look natural, and I don't know, it's just, I really like it. This is probably one of my favorite drawings in the entire video. Yeah, can you see I've improved? And now we move on to the last drawing of the episode. This is Jupiter. I think that's her name. Jupiter, Jumina, something like that. Grover's girlfriend. Oh my god. So I actually have like genuine interesting commentary to say about this one, because I remember the thought process I did with this one. This was one of my first proper fan arts I did for the Percy Jackson series. And right, here's the thing. Outside of the Percy Jackson series, I love Greek mythology, I love Roman mythology, mythology in general, I love. So when I heard that she was described with chlorophyll, chloroplast, the green stuff in leaves, skin, I was like, that doesn't sound right. I've never seen an image, a painting or anything with green nymphs. In fact, yeah. So I just double checked myself. Very few tree nymphs or anything are portrayed with green skin, unless you are looking for like fan art of Rick Riordan's. But like traditional paint wise is not a lot. Then they usually just have like human skin tones. So that really confused me. So when I was redoing this, I was like, okay, so she's got a normal skin tone. But then I was like, that doesn't sound right either, because can I change the color of her skin? Even because in the book she's saying this, but then mythology is saying this. It really threw me through it. So I wanted to like double check that I haven't just made it that she has green skin like She-Hulk, and she does have green skin in the book. But then it was just throwing me through because I was like stuck between what skin tone to give her. Do I want to make it mythological, myth accurate, or do I want to make it Rick accurate? I went with Rick accurate, but I've toned down the green significantly because those colours were clashing. But yeah, so that I just want to say that. Also, I don't know what I dressed her in. Fashion, you'll realise with other videos I do, is not my strong suit in the slightest, because why is she wearing human clothes? Nymphs don't wear human clothes. In fact, in a lot of depictions, they wear minimal clothes so there can be one with nature, like nudists. So yeah, I think this one shows the most improvement. I've got her moving. I believe I show movement, and instead of her wearing a flower crown, which I know she does in the official art, I can't remember if she's wearing a flower crown in the book from the top of my head, but I've put them in her hair instead because it's like they grow out of her head. And yeah, I'm not allowed to talk about Greek mythology in front of a lot of people because they just tell me to shut the fuck up. But if you like want me to do a whole like analyze of Greek mythology, I can teach you it all. Just an interesting thought if that's something people want, because I know a lot of useless information that I'm never gonna need in life, but that's the only information I really have in my brain. Thank you so much for watching my video, and you've made it to the end. If you have any criticism you want to give me, be nice about it and obviously tell me, because I do appreciate it. If you have any tips on like fucking how to draw feet, that'd be very much appreciated. Like, but I'm scared of feet, so like don't send a picture of feet to show me like a reference. Like they really freak me out. There's just something about them I've ever seen since I've seen this skeletal thing that I can't do it. I wear socks. Thank you for watching the video. If you want to subscribe, very much appreciated. Leave a like if you want to, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.